Hi there, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Casa here, and I am here for one of your first Explorers lessons for third graders. And today we're going to talk about a strategy called Scamper. And Scamper is something that you can do to help you solve a problem. And problems can come up anywhere, anytime. If you think about all the great inventions, like a cell phone, think about why this came to be. When Mrs. Casa was young, we answered the phone in our houses, and the phone was usually attached to a wall. Well, you had to be where the phone was to answer the phone. Now we can carry our phones in our pockets, and we have them in case somebody needs us, which is really cool. But this came to be because somebody thought of a better idea. And that's what Scamper is kind of about, is thinking of new ideas for problems. So let's take a look at some questions about Scamper. What is it? What is it? A Scamper is an acronym, and an acronym is a fancy word for each letter of Scamper stands for something that we do in the process in order to help us be better problem solvers. It's used to help you remember some of the ways you can creatively solve a problem. It also helps you practice being creative. What's it good for? That's our next question. It helps you stretch your brain muscles. It helps you solve tricky problems. And after brainstorming, it can help you find a really good solution. So let's get on to the parts of Scamper. As you know, the first letter in Scamper is S. S is for substitute. Let's say you're making something like cooking. This actually happened. I was making zucchini bread. I didn't have enough zucchini, so I had to think, what could I substitute for my zucchini? So I thought, I need something wet, something not too sweet, and something not too mushy. So I decided to substitute an apple into my zucchini bread. And it worked out okay. So I had a little bit of zucchini and a little bit of apple. So I substituted apple for zucchini. So S for Scamper is for substitute. Now the next letter in Scamper is C. C is for combine, putting things together. What can you do to put some of the things you have, your ideas, together in order for them to work together to make whatever you're doing more useful? So it's combining things. Sometimes you can think about this as putting things into groups. The next letter for Scamper is A. A is for adapt. And adapt is a fancy word for changing something. Here I have this idea that I want to work. Can I add something to make it better? Or can I take what I've made and use it for something else? I have to ask myself, how will this work in a new situation? So far we've had S for substitute, C for combine, and A for adapt or add. So we have S, C, A. I wonder what letter is next. I think it's M. M is for make. We can make something bigger or smaller. We can modify it in its size to make it big, or we can make it smaller, like Mrs. Cox's phone. I can make this into something that I can carry around with me. But the phones used to be really big. You couldn't carry them in your pocket. Now you can. The first computers that were made were really big. They took up an entire room. Now we can carry them in our backpacks and take them where they need to be. So inventions get modified. They get bigger, they get smaller. So it's really cool to think about it that way. So we have S for substitute, C is for combine, A is for adapt, M is for make, the next letter is P. P is for put. Put it to another use. If we go back to computers, computers were first used for just collecting data. You put data into it, and it helped you solve the problem. Now they help us with directions. They help us with teaching. Now we can videotape ourselves teaching with our computers. So we put computers to different uses over time. So P is for put it together or put it to another use. E is for eliminate. Take something away that's not working. For example, if you take a drawing and you're drawing something and it looks too crowded, well, what could you take away to make it look better? So E is for eliminate. R is for rearrange. Let's say you have something in your group that you want to use. Could you put it in order from biggest to smallest? How about smallest to biggest? So you can rearrange your items to look at it from a different direction, to be flexible about your thinking. So that is what R is for. So I'm going to review these with you again. And we're going to start with S. S is for substitute. Replace it with something else, like Mrs. Casa did with the zucchini. I didn't have enough, so I used an apple. C is for combine. Put it together with other things. See if you can make some groups. A is for adapt or add something. Can I use this for something else? How will this work in another situation? At first, when we used phones in our cars, they were bag phones and you had to plug them in to the cigarette or to the cigarette lighter in your car. Now phones have batteries. So phones have adapted. So it works differently now. So we've adapted it. Let's see. We did adapt. Now we're to make. We talked about how we make something bigger or smaller. We modify, magnify, or minify. Love that word, minify. So cool. Put it together, put it to another use is for P. Well, I bet you can tell what we are going to be doing first. Our first lesson for explorers is we are going to take Scamper and we're going to practice using those steps because Scamper is really important for solving problems creatively. And I have to tell you, sometimes you have to look at a problem that you're trying to solve creatively because there isn't always an answer right in front of your nose. You have to look at it and do all these different things to come up with the best solution that you can. I am really looking forward to working with all my third graders this year in Explorers. And the first thing, like we just talked about, that we're going to be talking about is creative problem solving. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to seeing you face to face next time. Bye, boys and girls. Thank you so much. Have a great day.